So hi everyone, I'm Steve Heitner. I work at Cytokinetics, which is one of the smaller companies here today, and I really appreciate the opportunity that we've been given to hang with the big dogs, as they say. I think that we do bring an aspect of agility potentially to the table over here, as well as our long-standing history in muscle biology and developing drugs with, potentially a novel therapeutic action, which I think fits very nicely with what everybody has agreed is the overarching philosophy behind this inaugural meeting. So Fadi is my boss. He is on a plane at the moment. We've been emailing up and down about some fantastic new ideas actually while this meeting is going on. And he was actually the first employee of Cytokinetics about 25 years ago and has been steadfastly focused on addressing muscle biology, which really we believe is the core or the heart of the matter in HFpEF and HFrEF and other rare and inherited cardiomyopathies. Essentially Fadi is a physician scientist who cut his teeth at UCSF in interventional cardiology, but really has been, as I mentioned, focused on the sarcomere as his primary target. I, on the other hand, have developed my career mostly in cardiomyopathies, hypertrophic cardiomyopathy, amyloid cardiomyopathy, and HFrEF, before transitioning over into the biotech industry and helping develop drugs for these diseases. As I mentioned, Cytokinetics has been focused on the sarcomere, mostly on myosin up until now. So we have a few molecules which target either myosin activation, and the most advanced potential therapy that we have right now is omecamtiv mecarbil, which is currently sitting on the FDA's desk and hopefully going to be undergoing review with potential approval later on, early next year. We have other therapies. Aficamten is also in phase 3, as well as several other therapies which are preclinical or first in human that target myosin as well as troponin. And we also have focused outside of the heart on skeletal muscle, where we have fast skeletal muscle activators and potential inhibitors too. Essentially, just like other people have mentioned, patients really are our North Star, which is one of the things that attracted me to the company when I was transitioning out of academics into biotech. We really are hoping to focus on a more diverse patient population, and I was very happy to see the slide earlier on that was presented, which demonstrated that we're targeting a much more diverse population than potentially has been done with HFrEF in the past. We are focusing our philosophies in concert with what the FNIH has taught us from the design phase. And we are hoping to reduce the residual risk that has been so evident in patients with heart failure, despite all these therapies that we have. Even in heart failure with reduced ejection fraction, we believe that the mortality is unacceptably high, and there is plenty of room to address this. I mean, if this was an oncology meeting, I think that we wouldn't be complaining that we have already got 5 or 6 well-proven therapies. What we would be doing is really focusing on that residual risk. And I think that in that same vein, essentially it's been mentioned already, is that heart failure with preserved ejection fraction is massive. I mean, we were talking about half of the patients that have been put in this kind of heterogeneous bucket and left to languish. Hopefully we're going to be able to kind of make some headway in developing novel therapies for these patients. Cytokinetics really has this incredible history of collaborations between basic scientists in academics, as well as the clinical development program, also in academics. And really that stretches as far back as the preclinical stages. And then we obviously interface with our academic colleagues very closely as we move into the clinic. And I think that by leveraging these knowledge and learnings from the previous experience, we feel that it would be most beneficial to kind of move the needle forward in that same manner. And I think we're very proud to have been part of the design phase. It was a strong learning experience for all of us. And look forward very much to what the future brings. With that, I'd just like to say thanks, and I appreciate the little curveball that you threw my way.
That's going to be 5 years for you. So, good job, Steve.